June 18. Squire Hawkins sat upon the pyramid of large blocks, called the stile, in front of his house, contemplating the morning. The locality was Obstown, East Tennessee. You would not know that Obstown stood on the top of a mountain, for there was nothing about the landscape to indicate it, but it did, a mountain that stretched abroad over whole counties, and rose very gradually. The district was called the Knobs of East Tennessee, and had a reputation like Nazareth, as far as turning out any good thing was concerned. The squire's house was a double log cabin, in a state of decay. 2 or 3 gaunt hounds lay asleep about the threshold, and lifted their heads sadly whenever Mrs. Hawkins or the children stepped in and out over their bodies. Rubbish was scattered about the grassless yard. A bench stood near the door with a tin wash basin on it and a pail of water and a gourd. A cat had begun to drink from the pail, but the exertion was overtaxing her energies, and she had stopped to rest. There was an ash hopper by the fence, and an iron pot, for soft soap boiling, near it. P018.jpg, 48K. This dwelling constituted 1/15 of Obstown. The other 14 houses were scattered about among the tall pine trees and among the cornfields in such a way that a man might stand in the midst of the city and not know but that he was in the country if he only depended on his eyes for information. Squire Hawkins got his title from being postmaster of Obstown, not that the title properly belonged to the office, but because in those regions the chief citizens always must have titles of some sort, and so the usual courtesy had been extended to Hawkins. The mail was monthly, and sometimes amounted to as much as 3 or 4 letters at a single delivery. Even a rush like this did not fill up the postmaster's whole month, though, and therefore he kept store in the intervals. The squire was contemplating the morning. It was balmy and tranquil, the vagrant breezes were laden with the odor of flowers, the murmur of bees was in the air, there was everywhere that suggestion of repose that summer woodlands bring to the senses, and the vague, pleasurable melancholy that such a time and such surroundings inspire.